Welcome to another episode of Universal Astrology. My name is Kayleen, and I have to start first by giving an apology because I wasn't able to come on yesterday and I was supposed to have a long stream. So I know there wasn't a lot of people that were relying on me for that. However, I felt really bad because I definitely intended to do an episode, but we had a lot of house construction go on upstairs and they were working like right above me putting and installing a new carpet, so it was really loud. And then exactly the time that I was supposed to start my live stream, which I was kind of hoping would be possible, they had quieted down, but they had unplugged the modem. So then by that point I had even no way of like really telling you guys that I wasn't gonna be on, so I kind of double messed up. But all that's over with. They were able to get it done all in one day. Bless them. All right. So welcome to Universal Astrology. Thank you for being here. And just a couple of like small announcements. You can come join me on the live show on Twitch at twitch.tv/Universal Astrology. And Twitch is really cool. That allows me just a platform to be live that's really secure and safe. And the reason I'm not doing live on YouTube is because there's a lot less control over there, and I just I want to support Twitch and the creators over here on Twitch. So by inviting people who aren't gamers to come to Twitch to watch the live stream really helps me also to assist Twitch as a platform to hold creators, not just gamers. So I'm just more in support of that. And their community guidelines for their viewers, their chatters, and their streamers are much more compatible with my morals and my ethics. So these are the primary reasons I have chosen Twitch to do the live show. And it's a way that you guys can interact with me while I do recordings, while I do the astrology, while I'm live. I'm literally sitting there doing it. So that means that things like answering questions, learning, and studying and researching together becomes a community effort, something that the community does together for astrology, which I think is just ultimately awesome for me. So that's a little bit about why Twitch and why I'm live on Twitch and why I've chosen YouTube as my creative place to hold and store and make available more widely the episodes, leaving things open-ended for me in the future. So I appreciate you following me over on Twitch if you're interested in getting involved with me live and being a part of the live streams and the content that I do, because I record these episodes, but then I'm still live. I continue the research in real time, and that's where I get all of my information, my lists, and you get to see me actually do things. So if you're interested in that, that's where Twitch is really cool. And if you're just want to catch the live shows, then make sure to subscribe to YouTube, and that way you'll catch every episode that you know that I did and not miss anything important on a day-to-day basis. And you'll still get clips from the research that I do to highlight the most important things that I'll upload to YouTube. Okay, so that's over with. Let's get to the actual astrology that you see below me. So a couple of cool things happened in astrology world yesterday while I was absent, which is the new moon. So we are now in the like kind of after phase of that. And also Mars is now officially in Aries and out of Pisces, which you can see down. Well, Aries is like right below my finger, so Mars is right down there, out of Pisces. So that's good news for us. This means that the actions that we put forth, instead of feeling like we're trying to get through everything and swimming, Aries is going to bring, over the next couple of days particularly, a lot more go-to willingness now that you're on land. So the next 1 or 2 days might be still kind of slow, like you're drying off and like just like really need a break. But over the next couple of days, we all will have, or should have, quite a bit more energy to put things in, and things will start to feel like fresh again, like maybe starting to feel like even though you've done this 100 times, it feels new again to do certain things with your body, with your work, with your action, with your force, with your energy, moving forward. So just, that's good news. However, Mars is still squaring over to Pluto. No. Saturn. It's Saturn. It's a Saturn square. So this is squaring our responsibilities. So this might be challenging for some today. I know it is for me. Just like the inescapable need to really think seriously about the responsibilities that you have, in really every area of your life, not just the inner and not just the outer physical, but both. I know that I'm trying to make sure that my inner world is satisfied by my outer world, and my outer world satisfies my inner world in a way that I'm morally okay with my future moving forward. And that means a lot of decision making. It means a lot of forecasting and seeing if things will work or not, which I'm going to spend the majority of the day doing, is just trying to write out a plan and seeing if that plan will even work. Like, if you think about it, to build a building, you don't just like gather the sources and tools and wood and nails and just start going to town. Like, you need to write a blueprint, a plan. You need to know what you're building, where things are going to go, what measurements to make. It's just not enough to have the resources and the will to do it. You also have to have a plan, a structure, and a blueprint, and a team that's willing to help you get it done. So I know that's where I'm at, but that's indicative of this kind of Mars and Aries square Pluto and Sagittarius. It's about that. What are we going to do? It's what are you going to do with your personal power, and what work are you going to put towards and forward to do that? So and the other opposition that we have that we're dealing with right now in this moment is the opposition of the moon being in Leo right after this new phase, opposing Neptune in Aquarius. So these are two very kind of elusive planets, spheres, we'll call them spheres. So the moon is very tied in with concepts of emotions, and the Neptune is really tied in with concepts of the veil and the conscious and subconscious, more so maybe the subconscious. And so when we get feelings like, when we're dealing with things like feelings in our psyche, this opposition can be kind of interesting, because you've got your emotions in a fiery, prideful presentation in Leo, who cares about emotionally taking care of the kingdom. And then we have Neptune, who is in the energy of Aquarius, and Aquarius is concerned with all of humanity. Like, everybody in Aquarius's eyes is equal. There is really no difference between people. It's very, very neutral. It's not good guy, bad guy. It's good, the growth of humanity and for all. So mind you, these are opposing signs. So if you take these concepts of the king and the kingdom and then humanity, or the collective, the social empire, and put them together, now you have the whole picture. And most signs are like that. They're opposites, but when you put opposites together, a lot of times you get a whole. So with Neptune being here for humanity and the moon being here in Leo, for most of us, this is going to be an inner thing. This is going to be an inner confrontation of self. This is also carrying the energy of fire and air. So if they meet within your life, it'll probably be a strong force. Fire and air coming together usually means a heightening of both, as air gives power to fire. So Neptune is going to be giving power to the moon. So the subconscious is going to be giving nudges over to and in with our emotional life. So this may be a good day of just receiving inner guidance from your own subconscious. Hope that makes sense. Kind of esoteric in nature, I know, but that's just what we're seeing, and that's only gonna be for as long as this moon opposes Neptune lasts. So it looks like about 5 p.m. that'll be over with, because the moon goes by quick. So this is at noon, so we're only 2 hours away from this time point, about the time that this episode will come out. The other opposition that we're dealing with, now this isn't a perfect opposition. When you see that the lines are super thick, that means they're really perfect. And when you see thinner lines or different colored lines or dotted lines, it means they're not perfect, or they're aspecting something that is untrue or isn't a physical option, like a point of some kind. So the thicker the line, the more prevalent or perfect it is. So we can see by looking at this line, it's not perfect, but it's real close. So this is showing the Venus, let's see, opposes Jupiter in Sagittarius. So this is the opposition factor, again, that we have with Gemini and Sagittarius. And I will also note that the North Node is in Gemini, the South Node in Sagittarius. So we can apply this kind of opposition. So we have Gemini of the twins. The twins are very filled with moral lessons of life and death, pain and punishment, also learning from mistakes, and just learning in general. So when we're talking about the world, Gemini has a lot to do with learning and adapting to new things. So when it was the age of Gemini, for example, this was the age that philosophy, geometry, and mathematics began. So Gemini brings that explorative learning environment of things. If you can condense it down, it's basically scientific theory in all of its glory. Then we have Sagittarius, which is the adventurer, the explorer, the inventor, the courageous, the journey, that who lives for the experience and nothing more. So this is indicative of the kind of energy where you know that you have to do something and you will, gosh by golly, do it if it's the last thing that you do. And so Sagittarius is head on, but it's head on for the adventure. So the type of people that carry Sagittarius energy are hyper, silly, proactive, adventurous. They're probably hikers, bikers, those that travel for a living, or people who, if you have Sagittarius in your chart, this is going to be the area of life or the planet in your life that is over exuberant in some way. So if this was seen with you having Venus or the 7th house of relationships with Sagittarius, I would expect that person to have many, many exciting, extravagant relationships throughout their whole life, as they just try and experience as many people as possible, simply because they enjoy all kinds of different people, and will stop at nothing to just explore and experience. Whereas Gemini being the opposite. So again, these seem like very opposite, because Gemini is one who's going to stick to it and study. So a studier, a researcher, anyone who's in school isn't going going anywhere. They're not traveling. They're quite the opposite. They're usually stationary in a seat kind of like this, and they just stay stuck there doing research projects, trying to get a degree, growing ideas, doing plenty of research, statistics, mathematics. All these things take a lot of time, stationary, but they are very expansive of the mind. In this way, they have this kind of thing in common, Gemini and Sagittarius do, where Gemini is very innerly satisfying to the mind, and Sagittarius is very inner satisfying to the heart center. So when these things come together and they come in balance, if we've got energy of both Gemini and Sagittarius coming together as a whole, we would have a very exciting experience. And so that's what we've got here. So the planets that are opposing here in this chart today around noon is Venus is in Gemini. So Venus in Gemini is indicative of really having to think a lot about your relationships and where your heart is. So we've got all of our heart space is being provided to our mental spaces to be able to really make the right decisions for our heart center. This is opposing Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius. Jupiter loves being in Sagittarius. This is good place for Jupiter to be. And Jupiter, in respect to our selves and our systems, our chakras, owns our navel chakra, or our sacral chakra, our sacred emotional space. This is also the area of the body that holds all of the chemical peptides that provide and produce emotions. There's a real thing about trust your gut, because your gut is actually what produces a lot of the emotional peptides that run through your system. So this is all ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter, if it was to just give it a keyword, it would always be growth and expansion. So Jupiter is always trying to grow, expand, where the expression is left a lot of the time to Mercury. So this is kind of where we culminate. It's where we create, but a lot of time in the creation process, ask any artist out there, there's hugely destructive forces that also go into creation. A lot of times we'll spend hours and hours working on a project and then realize that we've made a mistake 3 hours ago and have to start completely over. And so Jupiter carries a lot of that same energy of churning, crunching, destroying, and then starting over fresh. And so this produces a lot of self-growth, a lot of self-expression within, to even be able to express it out further along the creation process. And so this is definitely opposing, because Jupiter is definitely in much more power than Venus is in Gemini. But this is the battle. This is the battle right now, is we want to self-explore. We want to self-express. In the energy of Sagittarius, we want to go. We want to go forth and do what it is that we want to do. But Venus and our mind is going to hold us steady until we know for sure that we have done the research, done the homework, made the plans, and checked in with the heart center to make sure that it's worth the time and journey before Sagittarius and Jupiter just takes off on a wild willy-nilly that's never going to work. So this is kind of what we're getting here. Another kind of interesting thing that I see here is because Mercury and Sun are conjunct in Leo, this is really providing the Sun being conjunct Mercury, and maybe we'll look at this in fact we can. Let's do it. I'm gonna show you guys how this day looks in the sky. Oops. So this isn't perfect anymore. A couple days ago, this line was almost exact, like super close. So this is Mercury, Sun, Earth series. All right, here. So when we're looking at a geocentric, which we are for astrology, the center of the chart is Earth. So if we take that into consideration, then absolutely Sun is conjunct Mercury. Or Mercury is conjunct the Sun, I should say. And we can see also Venus is out here towards Sadalsuud. I am going to take a moment. Oh, shoot-a-roo. Gotta close out of the program. And we will go look. I probably spelled it wrong. That's okay. I butchered the spelling. Hold on a second. Sadalsuud. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go resource Astrology King for some help with Sadalsuud. All right, let's see what we can learn about this lineup to Venus. All right, Sadalsuud means luck of lucks. The brightest of lucks. It's the nature of Saturn and Mercury, and has the background of profound liar, thief, backyard, scandal, or slanderer. It is said to cause trouble and disgrace. The star of mighty destiny. Its solar nature presages great honor and riches. Some modern astrologers assert Sadalsuud indicating trouble and disgrace. It is one of the two most important stars of Aquarius, included in every worthwhile astrology list. It is universally recognized as a sign of good fortune for all who have it prominent in their horoscopes. So this is when it is lined up with the sun. Nishara and Sadalsuud were the focal center of a very good area of the sky, which is all about good rulers and successful sheikdoms. Saturn, Jupiter, and good things happen for their people. Saturn, Mercury, they carry the benefit area into include the stars Saldamec, Aquarii, and Formalahat, Master of the Fish. Okay, so let's go back here. So it's not a perfect lineup, but this is a pretty important star in Aquarius. So for whatever reason, that wants to come out, because there's nothing perfectly aligned with it. Like this is not a perfect alignment, nor is it for Venus. If it was, then the Earth would be over here. Anyways, that's what we're looking at today. A little tangent on that. Sorry. Not sorry. But here we go. So here's where we're gonna switch over a little bit. I'm going to change this to, so I'm going to stop from the kind of the daily universal astrology stuff, and since I was off yesterday and wasn't able to get on, I am going to kind of do a continuation into Helio and do some checkup on some stuff. So I'm going to start a new episode. If you would like to continue over with me. Sadalsuud. You say it.
Sadalsuud.
Sadalsuud. Right?
There's a pronunciation guide.
Oh. All right, well, Boden's going to be sharing me resources. I am going to stop this recording and start up another one, so it's a different video with a different title and things. So thank you for being here. I will do another daily episode tomorrow, recorded on Twitch live at 10 a.m. or so. And I'm going to continue on with my research. If you want to come on over to Twitch, please do so. I'll be here doing this thing, I don't know, for like another hour, to like 11:30, 12 or so. All right, peace.